fresh escalation in West Asia. Houthi rebels, in fact, the area controlled by the Houthis in Yemen, they have for the first time been able to launch a successful attack on Israeli soil. And that too, right in the heart of Israel. The strike has been near the key Tel Aviv airport, at the Ben Gurion airport. Although the missile, in fact, there was a lot of retaliation system, anti-missile systems which tried to stop this missile, but it evaded all those systems and landed at a service road near the airport, and 6 people have been injured in this attack. Now, post that, Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel has chaired an emergency meeting, and post that meeting he has vowed retaliation and revenge. And he has said that it is not going to be just a strike and forget retaliation, it is going to be continuous pounding. They are coordinating with the United States for, fresh batch of strikes. Meanwhile, the repercussion of this attack is that Air India has suspended its operations to Tel Aviv till at least May 6th, because a flight which was en route to Tel Aviv airport was diverted. Now, this, as you see, this missile hitting and the plume of smoke which is coming out, it opens another front. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you talk about the escalatory ladder, it only sees that now the hostilities are expected to go up after what has happened. Let's first listen in to some reaction.
انتصارا لمظلومية الشعب الفلسطيني ومجاهديه، ورفضا لجريمة الإبادة الجماعية التي ينفذها العدو الصهيوني بحق إخواننا في قطاع غزة. نفذت القوة الصاروخية في القوات المسلحة اليمنية عملية عسكرية نوعية استهدفت مطار بن غوريون في منطقة يافا المحتلة، وذلك بصاروخ باليستي فرط صوتي، وقد أصاب هدفه بنجاح بفضل الله.
אנחנו פועלים נגדם. פעלנו בעבר, נפעל גם בעתיד, אני לא יכול לפרט את כל הדברים. ארצות הברית גם בתיאום איתנו פועלת גם נגדם. זה לא זבנג וגמרנו, אבל יהיו זבנגים.
At this moment, I'm being joined by Dr. Umer Anas, Middle East expert, assistant professor, Ankara Yildirim Beyazıt University in Turkey. We are also being joined by Dr. John Harrison, Middle East expert, fellow at the Rabdan Security and Defense Institute in Abu Dhabi. Gentlemen, thank you for taking the time out and speaking to us. Let me begin by asking you, Dr. Anas, this is the first time the Houthi rebels, apart from disrupting the sea route, have been able to hit mainland Israel. How do you see this now playing out? On the escalation ladder, we can only expect things to heat up from here.
Thank you very much for having me on your television. I think that Houthis' attack today has shown once again that they had enough capabilities to continue this escalation, and they were not just they must be waiting for some results from Iran and US nuclear dialogue, which have not given much results as of now. So Houthis, I think that they are trying to give a message to the United States, to the Western world, that they would like to continue their mission as Iran's proxy in the region. And of course, I also have doubt that maybe Houthis also have been supplied enough things by Chinese, or maybe they have some Russian support as well. And of course, the Iranians have always been supplying them crucial weapons and arms. So what will be the reaction from Israel? I'm really disappointed to see that Israelis have lost a roadmap. They don't have any vision for the region, and except killing more civilians, they don't have any option right now. And that is why the Israeli war is becoming a liability for the Western world. And I think that the American President Donald Trump is very much under pressure to deliver something before his visit to the region in maybe in the next week, or in the second week of May. He would be in Riyadh and then other countries in the region. Right. So he must be doing something so to deliver about peace and compromises with Iran and other countries.
Right. Let's break it down further. Dr. John Harrison, like one thing the Houthis have demonstrated that they have the capability now to strike the mainland in Israel. That is a big worry as far as the government of Israel is concerned. And like Professor Anas was saying, the fact remains that this is not the first time. There have been retaliations in Yemen on the Houthi-controlled areas, bombing by United States, bombings by Israelis as well. That has not so far been effective deterrents at this moment.
Thank you for having me, Ankit. Yes, it seems rather odd on the surface that the Houthis were able to launch a strike like this, but the U.S. has had several hundred strikes since the last month or so on Yemen. It does, of course, show a couple of things. One, that it is very difficult to take out missiles, particularly the types of systems that we believe the Houthis have. They are mobile. They're not fixed launch sites, so it's very difficult to be able to strike. You have to have constant surveillance over these locations. And as the Houthis have been reporting, as the United States has acknowledged, that many of the UAVs that the U.S. has been using over Yemen have been shot down. So there may be gaps in the intelligence coverage that would allow something like this to happen. Additionally, while it is very dangerous, it is a very dangerous escalation to launch strikes at a civilian airport. It is a violation of international law. But it is also raising the escalation. What isn't clear at the moment is was that missile, and it appears it was only one, was that missile actually engaged by the Israeli missile defense? The system is very sophisticated, and at times does not actually engage with every missile. Its targeting systems are able to determine whether or not the missile is going to be striking in an area that might require engagement. So there is a possibility that this is what happened here, that this defense systems did not engage, but there has not been any reporting one way or the other at this point. I think the large question, though, is this is all part of the ongoing negotiations between the U.S. And Iran. The American strike, because you can't take out missile strikes, mobile missiles from the air, you need to occupy territory, which no one is talking about doing. I think this is all part of the larger negotiations going on with the Iranian nuclear program. The only effective proxy that the Iranians have left in the region is the Houthis. So they're obviously trying to show that not only have the strikes not worked, but that Iran is not as weak as it might appear.
Yeah, but Dr. Harrison, just expanding that point that you were saying, just taking it forward, because today also is a day when President Donald Trump has made an announcement, and he has said that he has no problem if Iran pursues a civil nuclear arrangement. I mean, so that was being seen by a lot of analysts as some sort of olive branch being extended towards Iran. After this strike, does that change? Now will the United States president will also be under pressure for some sort of a messaging back to Iran, isn't it?
It's not clear that that's going to change. It's been U.S. policy since the JCPOA agreement was signed, that there's no international prohibition against having civilian nuclear power. The difficulty that the international community has is that Iran may or may not be pursuing a nuclear weapons program. There obviously, at least in the public domain, is a lot of dispute over that. But the bigger concern is that Iran wants to be able to have the entire nuclear cycle under its control. And that's very dangerous. And certainly other nations in the region, the UAE, for example, has a civilian nuclear program. It is under very tight international control. The UAE has certainly accepted that. And why Iran would expect to be able to have something less than its neighbor, it seems to be a little bit perplexing. But certainly the U.S. has been trying to negotiate a deal. There have been a number of signs going back and forth, a number of negotiations, both publicly and obviously privately, that would suggest that there is some sort of an effort to try to get not just the nuclear program, which is what the international community is focusing on, but also the missile program and the Iranian support for proxies. This next deal, should it emerge, is going to be much more comprehensive than just the nuclear program.
Right. Dr. Anas, Professor Anas, if I can, Dr. Anas, I can get you in on this at this moment, but is there now some sort of an exit plan? Like you were saying that Israel seems to be it's difficult for Israel to find an exit plan as this war post October 7th when it started. The escalation doesn't seem to be coming down. It's only increasing. What does this mean for this region as well? With no exit plan, it will only pile up more civilian casualties. How do you see this playing out?
What I sense is that in the last 5 years, Israel has been has made so much progress in normalizing relations with Saudi Arabia, with the UAE, with other Arab countries, and of course, back channels were also working. Many of these progress have been reversed because most of the countries, they had supported Israelis' view that Gaza should be without Hamas and Hamas should be weakened, if not completely removed. But now they see clearly that Israel does not have any plan, it does not have any vision to differentiate between Hamas and Gaza population. And at the same time, the expulsion of entire Gaza population outside Gaza had angered almost every Arab country which Israel considered as its ally. So Egyptians are not ready for that. Jordanians are not ready for that. UAE, Saudi Arabia, no country is ready to accept that expulsion plan. So in this way, Israelis do not have any plan for Gaza. And at the same time, they are also expanding their occupation of the West Bank. So they have angered more population and more people in the region.
Okay.
What I see is that the entire Arab region, the streets are becoming so angry, so destabilized. At the same time, the Syrian crisis has unfolded in a way that a new regional order is emerging.
Right.
And in this new regional order, Iraqis and Jordanians are going to become much important because they are going to have common intelligence sharing system as last month they have done in their meeting.
Right.
So Israelis should be worried that they should find a solution with the help of the European Union and of course their American partners.
Okay.
To come out from this crisis.
Okay, Dr. Harrison, last word to you on this then. While there are active efforts being made by the Trump administration to try and find some sort of a peace or truce deal between Ukraine and Russia, for how long can the Americans continue to back this offensive of Israel, which at this moment there doesn't seem to be any end game?
Well, I'm not sure that there isn't an end game. Both the Israelis and Hamas have been quite clear. Both want the other one destroyed. So there's not a lot of negotiation there. But I think the region certainly would like peace. There's a lot of effort to try to develop a number of massive economic projects that would require cooperation across many borders, including with Israel. So I think it's really incumbent on Hamas and Iran to be able to start offering a vision for a new Middle East, that offers a peaceful solution to the problems and a possible joint economic development. It's not all incumbent upon the Israelis who remember war attack on October 7th.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking the time out and speaking to us on this ongoing crisis. Because, ladies and gentlemen, remember, while Israel is going to respond to what has happened, but this is only going to escalate and pile up more civilians, in fact, bodies, as far as this crisis is concerned in West Asia. Thank you so much for being with us on the broadcast. With that, we are slipping into a very short break.